Hello gardeners. Welcome to the Living Soil Lab. Beneath our feet lies a crisis that rarely makes headlines, yet its consequences ripple through every aspect of our food systems and garden ecosystems. Modern agricultural practices have stripped our soils of their vitality, leaving behind compacted, nutrient-depleted earth that struggles to support even basic plant life. The very foundation of our gardens has been compromised by decades of chemical dependency, monoculture practices, and a fundamental misunderstanding of how healthy soil ecosystems actually function. While we've been focused on what grows above ground, the underground world has been quietly collapsing, taking with it the intricate web of beneficial microorganisms, earthworms, and natural mineral cycles that once made soil a living, breathing entity. What we're witnessing isn't just poor garden performance or lackluster harvests, it's the systematic degradation of our most precious agricultural resource, and the clock is ticking on our ability to reverse this damage. The solution to our modern soil crisis might just lie in the agricultural practices our ancestors perfected thousands of years ago. Ancient grains like Einkorn, Emmer, Khorasan wheat, and Spelt aren't just nutritious food crops, they're incredibly sophisticated soil builders that evolved over millennia to thrive in challenging conditions without any chemical assistance whatsoever. Unlike their modern hybrid counterparts, these heritage grains develop extensive root systems that can penetrate up to 6 feet deep into the soil profile, creating intricate underground networks that modern wheat varieties simply cannot match. These roots don't just anchor the plant. They actively transform the soil structure by creating channels that allow water infiltration, improve aeration, and provide highways for beneficial soil organisms to travel and colonize new territories throughout your garden beds. What makes ancient grains truly remarkable is their inherent resilience and their symbiotic relationship with soil biology. These crops evolved long before synthetic pesticides and fertilizers existed, which means they developed sophisticated defense mechanisms and partnerships with beneficial fungi and bacteria. Their thick, waxy leaves and natural pest-deterrent compounds mean you're not constantly battling disease pressure, and their deep roots allow them to access nutrients that shallow-rooted crops leave untapped. When you grow ancient grains, you're essentially employing a workforce of biological engineers that work around the clock to improve your soil's physical structure, chemical balance, and biological diversity, all while asking for nothing more than some space to grow. The magic of ancient grains happens primarily where we cannot see it, in the complex underground ecosystem where roots, microbes, and minerals interact in fascinating ways. Those deep, extensive root systems create something soil scientists call biopores, permanent channels through dense soil layers that remain functional even after the plant dies back. These pathways become superhighways for water during heavy rains, preventing runoff and erosion, while directing moisture deep into the soil profile where it's stored for dry periods. During droughts, these same channels allow subsequent crops to send roots down quickly to access that stored water, essentially creating a natural irrigation system that functions year after year. Beyond water management, ancient grains excel at what's known as nutrient cycling, the process of moving minerals from deep soil layers up to the surface where other plants can access them. As these deep roots grow and eventually decompose, they deposit carbon-rich, organic matter throughout the entire soil profile, not just at the surface. This carbon becomes food for soil microorganisms, which multiply exponentially and begin producing the sticky substances that bind soil particles together into stable aggregates. The result is soil that's simultaneously well aerated yet water retentive, loose enough for roots to penetrate easily yet stable enough to resist erosion. Studies have shown that fields planted with ancient grain cover crops can increase soil organic matter by up to 2% in just 3 years, a transformation that would take decades under conventional practices. So, integrating ancient grains into your home garden doesn't actually require, turning your whole backyard into a wheat field. The most practical approach for home gardeners is to use these grains as cover crops or, to incorporate them into your crop rotation plans. After you've harvested your summer vegetables, broadcasting Einkorn or Emmer wheat in your garden beds and letting it grow through fall and winter gives you continuous living roots that feed soil biology and help prevent nutrient leaching during those rainy seasons. Come spring, you can simply cut the grain at ground level, leaving those valuable roots in place to decompose, and plant directly into the residue, a technique called no-till gardening that preserves all the soil structure improvements you've worked so hard to achieve. For gardeners with more space, dedicating a small section to actually growing ancient grains to maturity offers the full spectrum of soil benefits while providing you with harvest-ready grain for your kitchen. Khorasan wheat, with its distinctive long kernels and nutty flavor, adapts well to various climates and makes an excellent entry point into grain growing. Einkorn, the most ancient cultivated wheat, thrives in poor soils where modern varieties would struggle, making it perfect for those challenging spots in your garden that never seem to produce well. Sourcing seeds has become increasingly easy, with heritage seed companies and online suppliers now offering organic, non-GMO ancient grain seeds specifically for gardeners. A small 50 by 50 foot plot can yield enough grain to supply your household for months while simultaneously transforming that section of soil into a thriving ecosystem that benefits your entire garden through improved water infiltration and increased beneficial insect habitat. The revival of ancient grains represents more than just a gardening trend. It's a fundamental shift toward agricultural practices that work with nature rather than against it. As more farmers and gardeners embrace these time-tested crops, we're witnessing measurable improvements in watershed health, pollinator populations, and overall ecosystem resilience. The path forward requires us to look backward, to understand that our ancestors weren't simply primitive farmers but sophisticated soil stewards who understood connections we're only now beginning to rediscover through modern science. If this journey into ancient grains and soil revitalization has sparked your curiosity, there's so much more to explore. Subscribe to the Living Soil Lab for weekly deep dives into regenerative gardening practices that actually work, and share this guide with fellow gardeners who are ready to transform their soil from the ground up. Together, we're not just growing better gardens, we're rebuilding the living soil that sustains us all.